the fourth session of the PESB social emotional learning series, and our webinar today is about social awareness, self-management, and self-guidance, community building using transformative strategies. My name is Mackenzie Dyer. I am a program associate here at PESB, and I will ask my colleagues to introduce themselves. Matt, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Matt Dresden. I'm a policy associate here at PESB. Look forward to spending this evening with you, and thanks for showing up tonight. We appreciate you being here. Leonie, you want to go introduce yourself?
Sure. Thanks, Matt. Hi, everyone. I'm Leonie Sherwin, and I'm also a program manager here at PESB, and I'm just real happy that you are here. I have the joy and honor of working with both of our facilitators tonight. And so I hope that you'll find that it's a very inspiring evening for you. And Michael, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thanks, Leonie. Hello, everybody. My name is Michael Nguyen, and I'm also program manager at PESB.
Thank you. And we will introduce our presenters, Dr. Marisa Windmill and Sulan Hukano, shortly, in just a minute. Before we get started with the learning, there's a couple things to note. The first one is, if you have any questions, please use the Q&A feature that Zoom has at the bottom of your screen, and we will address all of your questions at the end of the session. So we will take presenter questions at the end, and then we'll take any questions about clock hours and that kind of thing as well at the end. So PESB will provide clock hour information at the very end of the session. So you'll need to stick around for that. We'll just save those logistics for the very end of our learning tonight. Please do not put your name and email in the Q&A for attendance. We are recording attendance based on your Zoom registration. So Zoom will give us a report of your email address and your name that we can match up with PD enrollers. So please do not put your name and email in the Q&A. It just kind of clogs it up when we have so many people on with us tonight. Another thing to note is that this session is being recorded, and it looks like we've got 172 people live with us tonight. So that is pretty awesome. Just a little bit about PESB, the Professional Educator Standards Board, before we get started with our professional learning tonight. PESB is one agency with two boards. So we are the Professional Educator Standards Board, as well as the Para Educator Board. And the boards recognize that high standards for all educators are essential for student success and achievement. So on this slide is also our mission, our vision, and our values. You can review those, and we will be sending out slides and resources after our professional learning so that you can review these slides later as well. And I would like to pass, Matt, would you be willing to do the moment of silence?
Yes, thank you. Before we begin, we'd like to acknowledge the history of this nation, one that's fraught with many contradictions. For too long, this country has elevated a story of democracy and freedom while minimizing the impact of violence and oppression on marginalized communities on whose backs this nation was built. Today, members of our Black and Asian communities and other communities of color still continue to experience racism through police brutality, mass incarceration, inequitable education and health services, deportation, and other forms of subjugation. We aim to disrupt the legacy of systemic racism by centering racial equity and justice in our work. This is how we stand with our communities of color. So before we get started, we just want to offer a moment of silence to consider these words and how y'all might join us in this work. Thank you.
joining us in that moment. So one thing before I introduce our facilitators, just want to mention to you all that we do have had great attendance on these. And because of the number of people interested, these are webinars rather than interactive Zoom meetings. And I know it's difficult, but Marissa and Sulan have done a wonderful job of, although this is a webinar format, adding a lot of interactive things within their slides. So we hope that you'll find that and also understand why that we've had to have this as a webinar. Without any further delay, I really would like to introduce you to our two facilitators and presenters tonight. Sulan Hukano is a cultural practitioner and district cultural support program manager at Enumclaw School District, as well as the founder and executive director of Wind and Waters LLC. She has extensive experience leading and organizing professional learning for a variety of state education agencies and school districts, and she collaborates with surrounding school districts for the healing of the canoe for students. Sulan is now the lecturer for UW-Tacoma School of Education, Masters in Ed Social Emotional Learning program. And for the past 2 years, Sulan and Marissa have co-coordinated the PESB Educators of Color Professional Learning Grant that was sponsored by PESB. And we also have with us Dr. Marissa Windmill. And Dr. Windmill is a multilingual teacher, Girls Who Code Club facilitator, and a mentor teacher at Kent School District. She is also, she led work for the NEA and WEA, and she serves as the Filipino American Educators of Washington Vice President. Marissa leads work with the Childhood International Education through the Refugee Educators Academy, and she is also a past PESB board member. So we're just so happy to have them with us here tonight. And with that, Marissa and Sulan, I'm just going to turn it over to you.
All
Mahalo,
right.
Leonie.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited because Ilan and I made this rich session for you, and I hope you're excited too. So thank you for joining us. I'm not gonna introduce myself. It's Leonie had a great job introducing us already. We would love to get to know you and engage you in our session right away. So Sister Celine, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Aloha kako, oko ino, suilan ho'okano. So mahalo nui loa, which means thank you in my language to all of you who took the time out today to really join us. Just a peek into our journey for today. We are doing our welcoming and our introductions, and Leonie and the PESB crew and Mackenzie and Matt do such an amazing job at supporting all of us. So I do want to give compliments to that as well. We really are going to just get into the work of it, if you will, as this is continuous work for all of us. So thank you all for joining us today. Matt, next slide, please. Thank you. Again, this is us. This is who we are. Valena, welcome in my language. Haksahel, which is welcome in the native language here. And Sister Marissa, and in her language is Mabuhay. So welcome to session 2. And this is us again. So Matt, you can just fast forward it to the next one. Thank you. I would like to do a land acknowledgement as we open in all these spaces in the traditions of our community organizing ancestors who taught us how to acknowledge each other and honor each other's lands and how we walk with each other, our responsibilities to the people in the land where we are and where we originate from. As stewards of the land that we live in, we work and we share in for generations. That we in today, even in these virtual worlds, know how to acknowledge each other and see each other even during unprecedented times we collectively have. What it takes in these moments to come with kapu aloha, which in my language means sacred love and care for one another. That we have and remain in relationships to the relatives here since time immemorial. And we continue to learn and walk in these relationships and acknowledge responsibilities as descendants of community leaders. This is a continuous way of knowing and being, a tradition of my Indigenous people, and that we show up and sit in relationships in our relatives and be responsible and acknowledge our stories, our suffering, our resilience, and our histories within this, sustaining what is collective as we learn and we restore practices. As we navigate this space today, let us all continue to walk within these collective growth mindsets, as community ancestors did. I would like to acknowledge and honor and ask permission to transfer knowledge today, even in these virtual spaces, as I sit on the lands of the traditional lands of the Muckleshoot. Mahalo nui loa, this is how I enter into spaces, and it's a practice of mine. So I appreciate you understanding and warmly welcoming that in. Thank you. Matt, next slide. Sister.
So as we did at last session, we have our community responsibility. You take care of ourselves and each other. I know that this is a webinar and I wish we were seeing each other, not in screen, but in person, but take care of ourselves and each other, keep our community well-being and learning at the center. Ask questions as you seek to understand. A lot of times we want to be understood instead of seeking to understand. So maybe some paradigm shift of changing. And it's embracing a learner stance, leaning into learning and unlearning. Asking questions or sharing the air, take an air and give air. Brave space connotes safe space. So be brave to share, because that's when we create safe space. Recognize discomfort as chance for reflection and learning. We're going to be doing a lot of reflection and metacognition here, thinking about our emotional learning and well-being. Call each other in, not out. Understand that these moments can elicit strong emotions. Please take the necessary care and ask for assistance if needed. We'll all honor moments and needs, and your contributions are warmly welcomed. We have several collaboration boards, Padlets, and Jamboards for you to share your thinking, your thoughts, and emotions. You are welcome to use those. In case you don't have them available to you, feel free to have a pen or a notebook to engage, because it's really important for us to reflect on and journey along with this, with our session today.
Thank you, sister. So going back to those of you who were able to navigate our past journey with us, we had a couple of things at the end of our time together. And one of them was to bring your community and share something significant about you and your community. Also, we asked you to find accountability partners, and then bring something that you connect with, some strategies or assets that you have that you may not have even recognized until after we had our session and our time together. And as Sister Marissa said, keep track and notes and questions for our next steps. We will have time with you again as we navigate another session with you towards the end of this series. So we really want to have some inner engagement and interactions with you all, especially it's a webinar and we're not able to see you or even really like engage. This is our way of you engaging with each other and us engaging with you as well. So we hope to be able to find ways to reconnect and keep those engagements going. So thank you so much. Next slide. So with that being said, we are going to get into our first session. And when we last shared with you all, we left you with some time together to answer some questions of, really recognizing where you are in your self-awareness and consciousness. And we'd like to see where you were in your own social emotional well-being. And I like to call it social and emotional well-being, which is our social and emotional learning, SEL. And in today's session, we're going to continue to utilize your own self-awareness and evaluations about understanding self-management and guidance. We're going to discover a little bit more about ourselves and learn transformative strategies and build upon those personal and professional understandings of ourselves, and then how we manage and navigate that with those around us and our environment around us. So we did ask you the last time, what was something you connected to, or what is something that challenged you? And we're going to go back and reflect on some of those questions that you answered. And we want you to take a moment to just, for those of you who were there, to read that Padlet again and read what some of your responses were. So this is a little brief reflection time. And I'm going to let my sister talk about that as well, for you to kind of remember where you were. And if you didn't join us last one, just go ahead and feel free to read some of the questions and then some of the answers as we give a few minutes for you to reflect on this. Marissa, do you have anything you want to add on that?
Well, I just want to say I really truly enjoyed reading your responses to these questions, because I saw how relevant and meaningful this session is to you. And I would like you to continue to engage, because I see, I'm very optimistic and hopeful that this will bring us to a better version or a best version of ourselves. So go back to this, read what others also responded to or said in their responses, because it's beautiful. I can see how as a collective group, we can create something beautiful here. I can see theme, and I don't know if you see the trend. I sat down and just for hours, I was looking and seeing trends here, and I would say, if you're a beautiful you, whatever you make of yourself is something that you radiate. And I can see possibilities of being a whole person giving out to the community, because a lot of you also mentioned about community, students, colleagues, and you want to help out. So I'm excited to what's coming up and how we're going to continue growing, expand our learning, increase our self-awareness, so we can be, I would say, a responsible social being, helping our community, our society, in a way that it will bring out the best in all of us.
We'll give you a few minutes. We'll take a silence on that, and you can go in and keep reflecting on that if you'd like to. It's really for you to be able to just continue to grow in and see where you are in your own social and emotional well-being. So, and as we begin to talk today, I'm actually having a really hard day. So, I had a hard week, and I thought that I could do my wellness and then come in on Monday and be okay. But I think that this is a really important place to say that sometimes we have to still be in places and not be okay, that we're working on it, and that we humanize the fact that we don't have to show up perfect and we don't have to show up put together, that sometimes we have to show up, but we still have to show up and let everyone know, I'm struggling today. So I'm struggling today. I'm struggling for various reasons. And I want to bring that to the table so that others can know that they should be able to have an opportunity to say, how am I today? And how's my social emotional well-being today? But I still have to be here. And so I want to humanize spaces. I want it to be okay not to be okay. And I want us to learn together how to work through that. So I'm sharing that with you all today. And I thank you for the hearts and the love. And I appreciate your understanding as I navigate through today. So thank you for that. Matt, can we go to the next slide, please? Thank you.
I just want to acknowledge what you said, Sister Sulan, because we always go through those stages, and we show up in places where we show our authentic selves. I mean, that is the way how to be authentic. We don't need to be polished and be looking out our best when we show up in spaces, because that's our authentic self. And I think, it's all right. You're welcome to show up the way you are today. You're human, you're whole, and we are not perfect. And being in a community with that, I want to give you my virtual hug.
Thank you.
it's a hard day for me too. I'm supposed to have my procedures in the hospital and get canceled. So it's, to me, it's a blessing in disguise. I thought I wouldn't be able to show up during this webinar today, but there's always ways. Things always work out for the best, and I hope through this process we can, we can heal, and we can develop into, we can metamorphose ourselves into a beautiful butterfly.
Thank you,
Sometimes we
sister.
struggle like that, the cocoon, right?
And I think we have to bring humanizing to these spaces, right? That it's okay. Thank you all for your hugs and your hearts. I appreciate you. I really do. And this is what's going to help me to get through my day and my social emotional wellness. So as we begin, and before we begin to really dive into some of the more active sessions, which we're starting already, I want to do a brain and body scan. And that's why I wanted to let you know, I'm struggling today, struggling a little bit, but my brain is still staying in a really positive space. And my brain is really saying that, this is one of those important spaces for me right now, because I get to talk about it, and then I get to heal, and I get to walk myself through this. I've learned my managing skills, and I know what helps me through that. And so we're sharing this with you. And what we'd like to do is just ask you, how does your brain and body scan, in this session feel like right now? And I shared mine with you all. And then how or does or might your brain and body naturally rest? I naturally rest in a very hopeful and positive space. And even when I'm having rough days, I'm able to share that. But I'm usually in a really naturally rested, positive space. And so we have a little question for you, like, where do you rest? Do you sit sometimes in, I could sit with this struggle that I'm in right now and say, okay, I can't go through this right now. Or I can say, well, I'm gonna have gratitude for all of you right now for being in this space, because this is exactly what I need. And I'm gonna look for that help within others. And so I want to just say this too. So this cartoon was shared with me because we're always thinking of our brains, our muscles in our brains really are strong in certain things and maybe a little less strength in others. And we really want to start beginning to build that strength in those muscles. And this is part of that exercise. We can't even go to watch cartoons with our grandchildren without saying, oh my gosh, I could use that for work, right? Or, oh my gosh, how could I can see something that's relevant to my work in almost everything that I do in the grocery store with our grandchildren. So one of my good friends that I work with, she's in my leadership. She saw this video with her granddaughter, and then I saw it with my grandchildren when I went to see them. And we thought, well, she said this would be really great. So we really want to see this and start this off, and it makes me laugh. And I think we also have to remember how to have humor, even when we're struggling. And so we want to share this with you. We're going to open it up in just a moment to see how your brain rests, and we're going to get some little movement in us as we begin to navigate our time together. So thank you all for listening. Here we go. I wanted to show that small little clip because it really finds a humorous way for us to look at, how does our brain and our body naturally rest? Are we always fighting the war, right? Are we always thinking that the valley of the lost souls is in front of us? Or are we looking at life in a way that we can look at all the possibilities that could come through, and we could go through the pocket full of posies? So even as grandmothers, and even, because we're in this work of education, sometimes we can't even sit in a cartoon without recognizing that, oh my gosh, there's something that I could use in a PD that we're doing, or teaching or learning. And so we really want to just find a moment and say, how are our brains resting? Are we always trying to fight that next war, right? Or are we looking at ways where we can still go through our pathways, but we'll go through our pathways in a way that's going to be healthy and healing for us? And so I just want to say that this is probably something I'm going to use quite often. And I want us to reflect back on that too. And we found it in Puss in Boots in a cartoon, right, with the grandchildren. So thank you. Marissa, do you want to say anything on that too?
Well, something that I tell my students all the time is, your words are powerful. So whatever you say, you attract. And so have that positive mindset all the time where you say you attract positive things. So just like the rat there, how did she find out about the bucket full of posies and filled up quick and easy solutions while Puss in Boots and Kitty got all the negative things, right? So it's because what we say, what we bring about, or what we think about, we bring about. So
Thank you. Yes. So we wanted to share that with you as we begin. So thank you for watching our cartoons with us and our grandchildren. So much appreciation. We're going to go to the next slide, Matt. Thank you. So, now that we've navigated a few sessions together, we've watched some cartoons, we've done some interactions. We really want to just begin to share times and resources and reflect back again. You got to review where you were last time. We're hopeful that you're going to be able to have honest conversations with yourself. That's the first thing, right? We have to have honest conversations with ourselves. And even those that are supporting us, and we're building those collective action steps. What does that look like? We really want you to say, what kind of action steps have you done if you were with us on the last session? And if you weren't with us on the last session, what action steps have you done in any of the sessions or even in your own social emotional well-being to manage that growth and to be able to find those necessary tools for you to grow your social and emotional well-being. And assessing your own intentions is one of the things that I think is important, and really assessing your own wonders, like what are you still wondering? And so we want to give you a wonderful tool, and that's going to be, we're going to click yes, thank you, Matt. We're going to ask you just these few questions. So we'd like for you to take a moment to answer these 3 questions. Have you taken action steps towards your social and emotional well-being growth since the last time we met? It's, a yes, a no, or if you have an other, then you can put an other in there. And this is just something for you to just be able to have in there. Thank you. And I forgot to put the title on there, so it's an untitled form, but I'll see it when it comes in. So thank you for that. So go ahead and go in there and start filling that out.
Since I think I changed the form, so it should have a title now.
Oh, okay. Try and take a look. Well, go ahead and see if it's in there, Matt. Thank you. As we navigate technology.
The updated link is in the chat.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So
see
we have an
responses.
updated, and that's how we support each other, right? Because when we did our review, we were like, oh, there's no title on there. Marissa was like, I got you, sis. I'll put the title on there for you. And so that updated link is in the chat for all of you. So go ahead and answer that. Again, you're talking to yourself. So you're asking yourself these questions, assessing your own wanderings and your own intentions, and where are you in your social and emotional well-being? Because I think the most important accountability partner that we are going to have is ourselves. And we have to be honest with ourselves if we're going to move forward in anything that we do. So thank you. Thank you so much. We'll go to the next slide, Matt.
So it looks like we have 128 responses and 61.4% said yes, they have taken actions towards their social emotional well-being growth. So thank you so much for doing this. And if you have not taken, which is 13.7%, you're not too late. In this session, we'll be able to do that too. And those who are maybe, you probably did some, not exactly what we asked you to, but you have some tools where you were able to take some actions. So thank you for doing that. We have 150 responses now. 62.7 said yes. Yes, 62.9 now. It keeps going.
Yay.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you for that, sister. I appreciate that. So for my social and emotional well-being, I am someone who loves being outdoors. It's where I center myself. It's where I feel my energy. It's where I can put some things into the ground and then get some energy back inside of me. And I really do appreciate. So again, Elise, Bill, Garish has done these wonderful videos that also is within her language. And then so she's able to really be able to to showcase that for us and share that with us. So we're going to take that moment to take in some deep breaths for everybody here today. You know, I shared with you that I'm struggling this week. I struggled last week. There were a lot of things just happening, you know, that aren't in my control, but I can manage the way that I am handling these situations with my management skills that I've learned to do it. And this is one of them. And so what that means is, you know, what are you utilizing to manage when you might be struggling? And this is one of the videos that I get to go back to, that she's created a series. They are on YouTube, by the way, too. And I love it because it was her reclaiming her language that was lost and then putting it into the things that she loved to do with her daughter, which is go out into the environment and learn about the plants with her little girl. And so this is what I like to listen to if I'm not outside in the environment. So again, we're just sharing resources and giving you tools and suggestions that you can begin to transform what that looks like for you. Music, art, the environment, laughing, dancing, whatever that might look like, what strategies to help manage that as you begin to feel things, as you begin to have a day that might not have went as well as you thought it might. Sis, do you want to say anything before we start the video?
Let's go.
Right. I'm going to close my camera while we just listen.
As llallil ti paralus. Luraf ti swak deilib a tis deilibs. O callaf ti swatiuftad. So ashdash. Pohashdash. Pads ads at a shout. Ust olju ti hash at east ads. So ashdash. Pohashdash. O patid gwasab a tadiol yolab. O chak tadiol yolab twal hali il chef. So ashdash. Pohashdash. As kalosab chef. Ust oljuv ti hash akwi chat atast ads. As walach chef. So ashdash. Pohashdash. Awil ti chefwab. Quality gak. Luraf tist eight alib ataswatiuftad. Asht tad talch tiir. As halit ti chach osadad shaf. Gwalgwad zadad shaf.
Thank you, Matt. I love her videos, and it was something that she's just wonderfully created, and I get to utilize them now in my own wellness. So this is when we begin to talk about what is it when we have people that surround us that are lifting us as we get through these journeys, right? As we all navigate struggle days or days that might be a little bit harder than where's our go-tos, and we can't always go out right straight to the environment. So what are some of the things that we are able to do? We listen to a video to ground us back, to bring us back into a place where we know we can hold our wellness and manage what that might look like. So these are just, you know, again, some subjectable tools that we're making for you, and really allowing you to see how you can take this into your space and in your own social and emotional well-being. So thank you. Mr. Marissa? Okay. So one of the things we want to really look at is your strengths, right? And it is, you know, there's a lot of research out there that says, you know, our brains and even our bodies, right? We utilize the same muscles, they become stronger and stronger. And so, you know, what are some of those character strengths that you utilize in different degrees, maybe some a little bit more than others, and then giving you your own unique character and profile, understanding and recognizing what that might even look like for you, but utilizing them wisely. And for me, it's like, I know my strength lies in the environment. It lies in community. It aligns itself with being in a collective space so that I can share and then receive wellness back. So it's a reciprocal thing for me. And then how do I improve on my own social emotional well-being? Well, it's being connected to others. And so one of the things we want to say is like, what are those strengths for you, right? How can you recognize what that is and then continue to build on that and then utilize some of that? These are just some questions I would say that if your strength was love and learning, you could answer a question with, well, when things go wrong, I know I can examine the situations and learn a way moving going forward, right? And then if your strength is bravery, you might answer a similar question with, even though I'm opposed to many things, I'm able to do what I think is right because I'm brave in that space. And I feel like I can go ahead and push through that. And so what are some of your strengths? And then what are those strengths within those that align you to build in your own social emotional well-being? And before we click on our strong characters here, I'll let Sister Marissa say if she wants to add in anything for that at this moment. And she
Well, I'm
calls it her
excited.
superpowers.
Yeah, so I would like us to dive into this already because I read in the Padlet a lot of your strengths already are visible, are evident in your writing. So to me, I would say, and I share this all the time, I always find opportunities in crisis. I feel like, you know, during the pandemic, I was able to finish my doctorate program because I was able to channel my energy and find that opportunity for me to really get into the work and expand my thinking in a way that how can I help my community. So it's not just thinking about myself, but how I can be of service to others. And I think a lot of groups that I built during the pandemic tried, and I would say one of our groups was the Puget Sound ESD ECLC. We're able to continue our work together. Same thing in Kent with our educators of color in the Filipino American Educators of Washington. I was able to use my strength, my superpower to build community and continue the work while I was finishing my doctorate. And I know that you do have, a lot of you have so many strengths already within yourself that you can utilize to empower your community. And let's dive into that.
Thank you. Thank you, Matt. So this is available for you to really just another tool. We want to give you some tools and some transformative strategies for you to go ahead and take a look at. We're not going to spend too much time on this. We're just going to scroll a little bit. Thank you, Matt. If we can, assessing your strengths and then looking at some of those characters, right? Is one of your strengths wisdom? Is creativity and curiosity, right? Is one of your strengths courage, bravery, and honesty? Is one of your strengths humanity, kindness, and love? Is one of your strengths justice, fairness, and leadership, teamwork? Is one of your strengths temperance, forgiveness, and humility? Is one of your strengths transcendence, appreciation of beauty and gratitude and hope? Is one of your strengths to take action, right? And so how does that begin to look like in that? as you begin to dive a bit deeper, if your strengths are forgiveness, then these are some things that you might now navigate with. And so we're going to leave this as a resource for you. But you're going to be able to just go ahead and have that again as another tool. There's also some surveys in there, and a lot of other things that you're going to be able to kind of navigate so that you can use as your tool. So thank you so much. Go back to our Canva. And then we're going to go to our next slide. One of the things we wanted to do too is we wanted to talk about, because your strengths are something that you can utilize, building an understanding and how to develop those skills, right? They change older patterns, right? They shift our brains and bodies into more sustainable practices. And so I love this little girl. One of my strengths is now technology because of my sister Marissa, because technology wasn't my thing. Like, I was a hands-on person. Like, my strength was, I'll take you out in the forest, and that's my strength. Like, we'll lead ourselves through some rich learning and environmental practices, and I'm comfortable there. I was not comfortable in utilizing my strengths for technology, but my sister Marissa has really allowed me. And Matt, can we punch on that little girl again, skateboarding? Because I thank you. I love this little girl. She's really just taking it, and she's like, I'm taking charge. I don't know about this hill. But being brave and safe all at the same time. I'm really looking at, I'm gonna take a chance. And so I took a chance, and I started to really dive into my technology, and I do pretty good now, I think, creating videos and engaging ways of working with each other, because we weren't during the pandemic able to do that, right? So I had to use another muscle in my brain that was kind of dormant and a little bit weaker, but I've strengthened that muscle now. And so we're going to talk about those muscles, right? Building an understanding and how to develop old patterns and shift our brains and bodies into sustainable practice. So the question from earlier was, even when you're given some resources, do you still return back to those familiar roads, right? Do we still go through those familiar places? Like, again, our brains and our bodies, we know that our body needs to work out and have some movement in order to stay strong and healthy, but we don't usually think about our brain in that capacity. Like, we don't really think about that, right? So how do you then, go down some familiar roads still, or then how do you look at possibly going down another road that you may not be familiar with and that you just want to go ahead and begin to learn more about? And so we wanted to just say that, and then we have an opportunity for you to get some engagement in that. So thank you. So your first reflection question, and this is your Jamboard. I think everybody should be able to go ahead and get on there. Hopefully, I see people popping in. So really, if you haven't, Sister Marissa, do you want to navigate that? If they have never done the Jamboard?
I don't have control, but I can talk. Okay, let's see here.
If you haven't
so
navigated it, yeah.
On the tools, on your left side, you will see different tools. So there's a pen, there's an eraser, there's an arrow, and there's a sticky note there. So you can grab a sticky note, grab that one, go ahead. And once you grab it, you have options of what color of sticky note you want to do. So if there's yellow and you want to start writing, you can do that. So you may write your name if you want to be identified, or just continue, just start writing, expressing your thoughts. So what strategies have you challenged yourself with to grow your social emotional well-being? Thank you. There's already 1, 2. Thank you. Yes, I think that's important. And if you want to just move the sticky note so that it's not over someone's sticky note, you may do that. Thank you. I know many of you are experts in using this already. I just gave that so that a refresher for others.
And this is a way for us to look at it, right? To make it visible in front of us, because so many times we just get busy in the day and we don't see that. And if you have something visually in front of you, it's a reminder for you. I know if you could see my whiteboard in my office and in my classroom, we always just say we kind of we kind of spew up all over there, right? Because those are my reminders, you know, and I've got a lot of things to remind me of, you know, what I need to do or what I need to remember, especially during times of when I need to keep my social and emotional wellness in check. And remember, these opportunities that you're having with us and your other facilitators, and PESB's been so gracious as providing this, really is for you. And then when your social and emotional well-being is in a healthy space, then everything that's around you continues to flow within that. So it transfers right into your classroom, to your students and the families that you get to engage with. If you're well, then your community and your environment and your classroom as well. Take a deep breath and relax. Yes, thank you. That's why I love Elisa's videos. Every time she says inhale and exhale, I'm able to take my deep breath and thank you. It is okay not to be perfect. You know, I so appreciate that for, you know, many reasons today. And I think there's one thing that I put in there, you know, I would put on there if I would, you know, and for me, it's my comfort foods, that it's okay to eat those comfort foods when you need them. I am one of those that go back to my comfort foods. I think I'm going to do a Padlet one day for everybody to just put, what's your comfort food? You know, what's your to-go comfort food when you really need something? What's yours, Marissa?
We can add another slide for the Jamboard. My comfort food, anything that I can find.
I'm a chocolate person, so you know,
yes,
I love me some dark chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
I love me dark chocolate, but my real comfort food is I'm gonna just share this with you. So my father was a big cocoa fan, but he had cocoa in a bowl and he would do old school crackers with butter. And so cocoa and crackers is kind of my to-go comfort food.
Oh,
so we're
nice.
sharing that.
Yeah,
I
when I'm
appreciate
stressed
everybody.
when I'm stressed out, I just go to the treadmill and run as fast as I can.
Yes, running. Yes, running. So thank you as you continue to put this on your board. You continue to work through that. Really, this is for you to just, again, another reflection tool for you. Ah, yes, napping. Thank you. Comfort food, popcorn, and dark
I
chocolate.
love what I'm
Oh, I
reading.
didn't think anyone else ate popcorn and dark chocolate. Thank you. That salt and
Nice.
sweet, that really does go well. So
Ooh.
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. The water.
The water.
Yes,
Oh
I'm a
my God.
paddler, so I definitely go to the water as well. Wonderful. We're going to allow you to keep doing that since it's still going for a minute, and it's definitely everyone is adding into that. So we really appreciate that. Thank you, Matt. That'll be there for you to continue on as you want to on your own time. And even during this time, if something just pops up and really allows you to just kind of get into a memory space that you need to put that back on that. So we're going to go into building our healthy brains and bodies and building healthy relationships. One of the things that we talk about a lot is self-efficacy. And I'm going to just kind of bring that in here a little bit. We'll talk about that a little bit more as we navigate our time together, and Sister Marissa will talk about that as well in a moment. But I think it's important for us to think about, again, how we talk about the movement for our bodies. When we're stressed out, we go walking. Sister just said, right? She goes on the treadmill. We saw a lot of people in our chat and also in our Padlet say, you know, I want to go walking, I take a nap. So we're talking about our bodies, but what are we doing with our brains, right? And utilizing some of those movements as essential developments to start to enhance our memories and our learning. And I really think that, okay, thank you. We'll open up another one. Thank you, Mackenzie. I think it's important to really say, what are we doing to reduce some of the things that create trauma or some of the muscles that are, you know, trapped in us, so that we can improve ourselves and some of that control. So I have a wonderful video from Mary Ann Button, who I appreciate the way that she's able to. We're going to the head first. Thank you, the flowery head, Matt. Matt's going to get us back. So my collective right here, my collective partnerships, We're going to click on this, and Mary's going to
EasyWheel started as my
describe
college
some,
project.
really
and
important
we now sell our wheel covers all around
things
the
that I think we
I wonder
can all
whether
appreciate. So we're going to open that up. She just says it so well. So thank you.
you consider yourself an optimist or a pessimist. If you think you're an optimist, answer this question. How optimistic are you about the ability to do brain surgery? If you had any reservations, that's not being optimistic. So what does that mean? What it means is that almost zero of us are purely optimistic or even purely pessimistic. We're often optimistic about the things we feel confident about or the things that we have no fears about. We are pessimistic about things that we've learned over time don't work or that we're afraid of. What we want to know about optimism and pessimism, though, because we do have preferences, we do have one or the other that are our go-to, is that both of them are ways for us to reduce anxiety. So an optimist will reduce anxiety by looking on the bright side, not worrying about things that could go wrong until they do, in which case then they must and they will deal with it. And with optimism in the workplace, we will look forward to the different projects, and until we get stuck, we may not be too concerned about how the project will roll out. Pessimists manage their anxiety by thinking about the things that could go wrong and planning for them. They would be looking for the flaws in the plan. They would be looking for any critical, constructive criticism that they can give in order to prevent things from going wrong. Neither one of these approaches are wrong. Neither one of them are bad. The problems happen when one wants the other to think like they do. Because what we're doing at that point is we're stressing them out. So, as somebody who has been a lifelong optimist, when I say to a pessimist, well, look on the bright side, don't worry about it, it'll all be fine, I'm taking away their need to plan, to think, to strategize, and I am increasing their stress levels. When a pessimist says to me, have you thought about all the things that could go wrong? Have you thought about all these? I can actually feel my stress levels rising. But there's a great middle ground that we understand that the pessimist can help us to look for the flaws, to plan in a more deliberate way, to be ready for any eventuality, and to not fight that you're raining on my parade, but to encourage it, to support it. And maybe it's not a conversation with us, but maybe it's something that they'll go away and do and bring back to contribute to the greater good. And on the other hand, that if you have optimists and you're a pessimist, that you actually encourage them to think about what are the positive outcomes that could happen here? What are some of the visions that you see that we could use in our personal life as well as in our work life? If we can identify whether we're an optimist or a pessimist in the moment, and then understand how we can leverage that for the greater good and not use it to attack or judge another person's approach, then optimism and pessimism can live well together.
Thank you, Matt. So we really just, again, are just giving tools for you to utilize, strategies for you to take forward in the way that we look at things, in the way we manage ourselves or stress ourselves. And so we really want to begin to look at, how are we building our healthy brains and bodies all at the same time? So while walking allows us to de-stress, and by connecting to the earth allows me to de-stress, what am I doing to de-stress my mind and my body? I mean, my brain as well as my body. And so we really want to think about that. And so we're going to click on our other brain that's working themselves really hard. And we're going to go to number 2. So we're going to go to the Jamboard. We're going to go to the next one. Just go up to the top, Matt, and click to the arrow. Yep. And we want to provide with the strategies. what strategies are you now building with your muscles in your brain and tools to help build, right? What are some of those strategies that you're using? And how can you begin to, again, create visual boards and visual things for you to be able to come back and forth on that? And you saw some of the strategies for your strengths and in the information session that we had, the information packet that we showed on, I think it was slide number 4 or 5. So go ahead and just drop in the chat in that one too. And if you weren't able to get to the other, unfortunately, technology doesn't like webinars too, I think. So that's one of the strategies we're going to have to look at, and one of our strengths we're going to have to look at. How can we get 215 people to be able to get on a Padlet or on a Jamboard? Because I think they max out at a certain amount of time too. So thank you. Try something new, persist when things are hard for me. Thank you for that. Just keep dropping that in there. Again, this is a way for you to come back and look at it, for us to be able to have dialogue with you through a webinar when it's not as interactive with you all as much as we would like it to be. Sister Marissa, do you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, I would like to see some of the strategies and tools that you are already utilizing in order to build your body and brain muscles. So during the pandemic, one thing that I did too is I started journaling. And sometimes it's a stretch for me to journal every day, but I was able to keep that consistent. And I'm on my 3rd year of really doing journal every day. Another thing is Duolingo, I some of you probably are Wordles. Just something that will help you. I feel like, Duolingo provides me many benefits. One is really honing my Spanish skills, and it actually brings me a lot of great things because I can understand my students in the classroom. I can talk to them. But one thing that I would like to stretch myself, which is another building my brain muscle, is really try to speak and, having a parent conference in Spanish or doing something because, I noticed that when we stretch our brain muscles, I tell my students, you're growing your dendrites when you do that. When something is hard, it's actually good for you. That's like the growth mindset, Grit by Angela Duckworth. When something is hard, you grow your dendrites. You are out of your comfort zone, and that's when you learn. It's similar to our, building muscles when we're exercising. So training ourselves to do the hard things and persisting on the things that we try really build that habits. Another thing that I told, I shared with my students, really, how do you build your habits? What's one habit that you want to build? You have to consistently do that at least 21 days. And so before the break, we did an exercise challenge. So something, I don't know what you have been doing, but I'd love to see what's in here in the Jamboard.
Yes. And I think it's important for us to, again, how are we getting out of our comfort zone and not going down those same roads, but creating new pathways and strengthening those brain and body muscles, right? And so I think, it's important. So one of the things, I am from Hawaii, and so I'm used to the I was used to the warmer weather, and I wasn't very comfortable too much in extreme cold weather. But I've gotten comfortable with the cold weather, and even to where I have a beautiful native sister who's a Muckleshoot from this territory. And, part of their health and their wellness is to take a cold dip. And it's a way of, in the year, of washing off some things that you need to get rid of, and then really refreshing your life into the seasons. And by the way, welcome into the seasons, right? So Shinyan Kwaila, I want to just say Happy Lunar New Year to all of you. It is the year of the rabbit, right? Which is a transition of hope and wellness. So I do practice the Lunar New Year. And so we are in 2023, and then we are also transitioning into the seasons of spring almost. And so really looking at how do we then navigate like nature, right? How do we then adjust to some of the things where we have to know when our bodies need to go to sleep, And then when spring comes in, we're starting to come alive again. And then adjusting to the different temperatures that we are in our environments, in our workspaces. And so I always say that, and I can say always on this one, that the environment and Mother Nature is probably one of the most underutilized educators on this planet. And I'll say that again, one of the most underutilized educators in this planet, because we can learn so much from the resilience of nature, the adaptability, the biodiversity, the understanding of how to co-collaborate and live in with each other, and how to navigate that during the seasons of change. And so I was able to do my cold dips, and I'm very familiar. My muscle is strong mentally now and physically to be able to stay in cold water here in this geographical area for quite some time. And that's because I built my muscles on that. So then again, movement is essential, right? Uncomfortability in that initial beginning, but then getting stronger in how we navigate. So thank you all for that. We wanted to just give you some time to be able to, again, another place for you to reflect and then have some engaging activities with you. So we appreciate those of you who have been able to contribute. Matt, we can get back to the next slide. Marissa, do you have anything you want to add?
I just love reading the sticky notes, getting exercise, taking a nap. I think those are really important, and then stick to those. And then once you're familiar and it becomes like, I would say automatic to you. It's like you do it without even thinking about it. Try another thing, because that's how we expand and grow our dendrites.
Yeah, you think about things like your muscle has built so much memory, and in your brain muscle has built so much in when you go home from work. You don't even think about driving home from work. If it's your regular, if it's your regular path, you've built so much muscle around that memory that you don't even have to think, take a left at this street and take a right at that street, that you automatically go to that, right? So just like that, our muscles are built in a lot and built up for a lot of other reactions, right? And it may not just be driving, but it might be how we react to things. And so really beginning to use your strengths and build your muscles around that, so that you can begin to have healthy, and your social emotional well-being is in a healthy place as you develop those muscles. So thank you so much for that. And again, these are all going to be available for you to go back and forth. And the resources will all be available for you as well. Thank you. So now that we've been working our mouths and our muscles, I feel like Marissa and I are just talking, because that's what webinars are about. We want you to build momentum around this and strengthen your muscles. And we've been working your muscles out pretty good today. And that was our intentions. We didn't want to just talk to you. We wanted to, we want to provide you resources, but we want you to also be able to reflect back on that, because I'm a person that reflects it. I'm a processor. It takes me time to really, absorb certain things. And so I'm very critical on that for myself as processing things. And so it may take me, something 30 days to really get something down, but I also believe in digestible bites. And what I mean by that is not to take too much and think that we have to do everything. What's something or some things, if you can do some things that you just want to commit for 30 days to strengthen your muscle and your social emotional well-being. We want you to just build some momentum around that. What does that look like for you? What would that be if you could try something new for 30 days? And you heard Sister Marissa say, it takes 20 days? What were you saying?
21 days to build a habit.
21 days to build a habit, right? So we're going to give you 30 days because I just want a couple of more extra days in that, right? So what is that? What is that one thing or things that you might want to try? Now, you're looking at the leaves like she is, right? Like, okay, this is a really big job. I'm going to have to work my muscles to clean this pile of leaves up. But at the end, you got this beautiful garden that's now strong, right? And so again, I'm going to use my garden metaphors. I'm going to use my environmental metaphors. What's something new that you'd like to work your muscles on for the next 30 days? What do you want to commit to for the next 30 days? Do you want to add anything in that, sister?
Well, as we are talking about 30 days, I remember a year ago, I actually joined the challenge of 30-day yoga by Adrian. And I'm going to put the link here in the chat. I forget to put that on our resources. But if you want to build this habit and do this 30 days yoga, feel free to do that. But, it's actually very rewarding after finishing the journey. I feel like I want to do that for the entire year. There's also this February there's a 100-mile challenge by St. Jude. You may do that. I signed up for that. I already did 35 miles this February. But there are things, take little steps. If you want to do a mile a day, that's also good, or walk for a mile. Journal for a day for 30 days. There are so many ways, and don't change anything that you started already. Like if you want to do that, what is one thing that you already did this January, the start of 2023? You might want to try, you may want to try that and continue doing it. Like one habit that I shared with you that I built already is journaling every day. I read the Bible and meditate every morning. Because that's, for me, that's like it primes me up when I do that. When I missed it, I would say I missed it a couple of times already for some unavoidable circumstances, and it doesn't feel good when you miss. But building that habit, it becomes automatic. I feel like, okay, I need to wake up and do this thing, and it feels good when you do that. Same thing with yoga and running. I challenged myself to do half marathon last year. And I feel like, oh, this is like always calling me, haunting me to run and do it. So I finished 2 half marathon last year, one in September and one in November. And I thought I couldn't run because I don't know, it's hard for me. But
You challenged yourself and took yourself out of that uncomfortable zone of thinking.
Yeah. And so now I would say if I don't run, I don't feel good.
Yeah.
So if you want to join me, let me know. Let's run.
Yes.
Or let's walk.
We're going to allow you to go ahead and again, this is as interactive as we just love being interactive. So we want you to join in there. Thank you. Some of you have already jumped in on there. What is one thing? How can you motivate yourself, right? Wait, I think we were supposed to go to the other one. Nope. We were going to not the Jamboard, but the Padlet. Padlet. Yes. Click on the check mark. Yes. But thank you for those of you who continued on that Jamboard. You keep going. Yes. So this is question number 13. And this was from slide number 13. What are you committing to for the next 30 days, right? What is something you want to commit to for the next 30 days? And so on this one, you just click on that little add button, and you would be able to just drop down and add on. Yep. On that last question is where I'd like you to put, what are you committed to for the next 30 days? Yep. Hopefully you'll be able to, yes, there you go. Thank you. Take a daily walk. We're just going to celebrate some of these. Oh, look at them. Prayer, dancing. I love dancing. Thank you who put the dancing. I don't dance enough like I used to. So I think I'm going to maybe do my 30 days for dancing. I love watching this just go. Wonderful. Smile and laugh. I think sometimes we don't smile and laugh enough, right? Hence my cartoon inside of our exercise today. Walk with a friend. Wonderful. Journal, yes. No sugar. I'm trying that one. It's not working so well right now, but I'm going to work those muscles and practice on it.
I see taking breaks throughout the day to just to breathe. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with Pomodoro, but timing yourself for 15 minutes. What can you accomplish for 15 minutes and then take a break? I think to me, I tried it and I become so like efficient because I know that I'm timing myself. Like, what can I do in this window of time, 15 minutes? And then I reward myself with a walk or a stretch. I see some of you doing that already, stretching. Hiking every weekend. That's great. Communing with
Yeah, I think
nature.
sometimes we don't take those breaks, right? I'm as guilty as that. Like I'll sit in my office and it's like 2 o'clock and I'm like, oh my goodness, I only had my coffee all day and didn't take a break because I'm so engrossed in my work. And so that's not good for my social emotional well-being because I need to feed my body just as much as my brain. And so I want to make sure that I get enough water, so one of the things that I've committed to for the next 30 days is to make sure that I get up frequently and I get my water, because I have a tendency, if I have my coffee cup in front of me, I'll just bury myself in my work, especially if I'm in my main office and I have deadlines for grants and policies, and then I forget to get up and get my water. And so my goal is to drink more water.
That's a great goal. I need to do that. All right. Should we move on to this?
Yeah, so this is wonderful. Again, this is going to be accessible for you to come back and look at and say, hey, what did I put down was my 30 days and am I sticking to it? What am I committing myself to? But we want you to also remember that we believe in digestible bites. And when I say that is like, we don't want to bite off too much. We want digestible bites so that, again, just like our bodies and our brains and our minds, that we are not taking in too much to where we overwhelm ourselves, because that's not what we want you to do here. We want you to be able to manage that, your social emotional management, your well-being is your management. And these are those skills. The first step was making ourselves aware of certain things. And now we're gathering tools and we're learning how to manage those things. And what are some of those things that we need as we go along? So thank you for dropping that in the chat, sister.
Yeah, I saw that somebody asked that. I thought I shared it with everyone. I didn't realize that it was just for the host and panelists. So the yoga, if you want to do yoga with Adrienne, she's amazing. I enjoyed doing yoga.
I'm going to take a look and see. I think I see that some people weren't able to get on some of the boards. So let me try and see how I can adjust that. But know that you'll have those links and stuff. And so we're going to really try to get everybody into those boards. I'm sorry if some people were left out or maybe it was full. I'm not sure what that capacity is. I need to check on that. So thank you.
We'll send you out also all the links, and so you can revisit. There will be one pager.
Thank you, Matt. We can go to the next slide. So one of the things, again, you're going to hear us over and over again is, sustainable practices. A lot of the things that we say or do, maybe we're with great intentions, but we don't sustain them, right? And this is where we want you to really sustain some of these practices. And I know, again, like I said, I don't drink enough water sometimes, and I'm like, I need my water. So I need my water, like really for life, I need my water. So really, as sisters over there drinking her water, what are some of those things that we can utilize as sustainable practices? And so, and then who's your accountability partner? Again, we talked a little bit earlier about self-efficacy, but I really do believe in collective efficacy, because collective efficacy really holds us not just accountable to ourselves, but then we have a partner to hold ourselves accountable to. And we have partners that we can hold ourselves accountable to, right? And then what does that look like for us, to be able to say, okay, did you go do your walk today, Marissa? And she's like, no, I didn't. I said, okay, well, we need to go do our walk today. So she's holding me accountable when maybe I can make excuses not to go out or not to drink my water, right? And so really want to start beginning to look at, for you folks, as you begin to move towards sustainable practice, collective efficacy, because our next sessions that we're going to have with you is really efficacy, which is like, what are those actions that you're now doing now that you've had these tools and these resources? And then who's your collective community that you're reporting? Sister Marissa is one of mine. We do have a pretty solid cohort, I'll say, of educators that we're able to go back and forth and hold each other accountable on certain things. But for our social and emotional well-being, we also have resources and support each other in that as well. So who are yours? Where are they? and then jot them down. We'd love for you to, again, this is where you need to have your notepads, and we're going to give you some resources for that as well. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, sis?
Well, if we go to collective efficacy, we actually have the Facebook group link.
So we're going to click first. The first click we're going to go on is yes. Is that the one? Oh, is that the one you created?
Yes.
Okay. Is it on the girl? Okay, there you go. Marissa's going to explain this for you.
So this is open to anyone who's interested. I just find having a group is important. You know, we have accountability, like Solan, Sister Solan. She is my, as you can see, I use the yin yang here, and she will explain to us more about this later. But who is that person that brings balance to you or brings out the best in you? And I think when we have this group and we can hold each other accountable, it will be helping our community. And so if you're interested in joining this this link just for our group, feel free to, I don't know, do I need to invite you, or can you just click and say you want to join? Okay, so we should be putting that there, that this is not a PSB thing. This is just something that Sulan and I want to hold ourselves accountable on helping our community. So this is not a PSB initiative, or this is not initiated with PSB. We just want to, we love, I would say my superpower is building community. I build community wherever I go. You know, I came from the Philippines and I moved to Texas. I was able to build my community there. From Texas, I came to Washington. I was able to build community here. So I feel like, you know, I'm a people builder and a community builder. And one of the things that I am good at is doing this. I help mentors. I help mentor people. I support people. I have a lot of, you know, teacher candidates that I help already. I have peer educators who became teachers in national board certified now. I have colleagues who became principal because, you know, I would say I'm a people builder, and that's one of my strengths, and therefore I would like to share that like to this community, whether it's virtual or face-to-face. I would say I would love to help people and support people in that. And one thing that I do practice is moments of gratitude every day on my Facebook. I post that to hold myself accountable. I really want to practice gratitude because that's something that I feel like I feel so much blessed, and I'm abundantly blessed. And so sharing that to people that, hey, we can do this. And actually brain research and social emotional research support that when you say thank you and when you're grateful about things that you have in life, it's actually beneficial. So this is for us, and if you are interested, feel free to let us know. I don't know if you can join the group already. It's not, you know, it's an invitation. If you don't want to do this and if you're not in Facebook and not comfortable, we can totally understand that. But I thought this is a good way of building our community. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think it's just another way to have a resource for those of you. We understand not everybody has Facebook, but it's just another resource for other people to just kind of share what they did for the day. Maybe I went for a walk today. Hey, guess what? I did this today. And we're just trying to find resources to keep ourselves accountable, along with our own growth that we're having to navigate on a daily. So thank you so much for that. We can click on our young lady with the phone. Thank you for that one. Because we'll stop for a second. We're really gonna start talking a little bit more again about, you know, what does that look like to hold ourselves in spaces and have accountability and collective efficacy. So we're gonna watch this quick video. Thank you.
A really huge component of resilience is our support network. But the thing that's really interesting to me is I know many people who love to give support, love to help, love to do whatever they can to serve other people. But they're really bad at either reaching out for or even accepting help and support when it's offered. Resilience is the ability to do both. You are not resilient just because you can give and give and give. You're resilient when you can balance it out.
Thank you. We want to, and again, we want to just acknowledge that, you know, we're really, really good. Like Sister Marissa said, I'm really good. I just want to help everyone. I want to help everyone. I'm really good. And she is amazing. The technology skills that I have today is because of Sister Marissa. And we really have to learn to reach out. And I remember I was like, I can't do that. Like, I'm just so not good at that technology. She's like, yes, you are, sister. And she really did help with me on that. And I took her on a canoe journey with me, and I put her in a canoe because I'm the paddler. And she was like, I don't know if I can go in the canoe. And I'm like, yes, you can. And so she's gone on a canoe journey with me. And so she's been able to get past that. And so then how do we help each other? Again, use our brains and our bodies, have those partners that are going to push us and hold us accountable at the same time. So we really, really want to emphasize that collective efficacy. And in that video, you have these videos that she's got a lot of great videos and resources as well, Mary does. And so really take a look at some of those. If you need to hear it or see it, you'll have all of those resources at the end as well. So thank you. We'll go to the next slide. And it brings us to the yin to my yang. And I call Marissa my yin to my yang. And I do use this quite often in our spaces because she does allow, you know, me to kind of check and balance myself. And I think I allow her to check and balance herself. And we just have this beautiful partnerships where our, you know, our skills and our strengths are really different, but together they're even stronger. And so we've been able to build, you know, our own skills because of each other, not because in separation, but because of each other. And I saw her drinking water, so I went and got my water. So I have my water now. So she reminded me to drink water, right? So there we go with those partners. Like, how are we using those things that we just don't think about sometimes, and then strengthening our muscles in our bodies and our brains, and in just that. And so I'm going to let my sister talk a little bit on that as well.
Well, thank you so much, because you really bring out you bring out the best in me. And as beautiful as the yin yang symbol, a lot of things I feel like I'm complete because a lot of my parts are, you know, built because of you and the community that we belong to. So how many of you have found your yin, your yang? Does that person bring out the best in you? Or are you a yang to someone? Are you bringing out the best in other people too? And I, you know, I always talk about, you know, I'm not in competition with anyone. I always want to do the best I can in being the best version of myself. And I think it's a good way to think about how, yeah, bring out the best in us without competing with anyone. Always compete with what we have done already. And I think if we can do that with another person or a friend or a colleague, I think it would show that beautiful symbol of yin and yang, just like how our talents and strengths complement with each other and bring out this beautiful PD to all of you. And so I was just thinking that, hey, you know, I think we're getting good at this. What else can we bring to the world? Because we always, you know, if you're a leader, you always think about what can you bring out to the community? How can you share your strengths so that it's not just about you, but it's about the community? How can we build our community so that we create this beautiful world?
Yes, thank you. And you know how we said earlier that we can't even go to like a movie with our grandchildren. Well, I have grandchildren, my grandchildren, without like seeing something that we can use and then be like, oh my gosh, you know, because our brains, our muscles are really strong, right? And on holding our work in front of us. But sometimes we have to have those reminders, you know, what are some of the things that we need help with? And so Sister Marissa, as she said, you know, we are a collective community. People, we love being in the community. That's part of our strengths. We love helping. That's part of our strengths. But we've also learned to build our brains to ask each other for help, right? That's part of our strength, is that we're beginning to use those muscles more often. We're beginning to, in this space, when I started today, you know, it's taken growing that muscle to be authentic, to say, I'm not okay today, I'm struggling. But I got to tell you, all who shared this day with me, thank you so much, because I'm feeling better. I'm feeling much better because I've been able to share these conversations with you all. I'm feeling much better because I know that there's people out there who are doing this good work like we all are. So you have brought me my ha today. And if you were in our last session, we taught you about ha, which is giving breath to each other so that we can make it through the day. I thank every one of you here today for giving me breath back when I was struggling and having a rough day, because I feel so much better just knowing that we're having these conversations and being able to share time with you all. So thank you so much for that. And that's me, you know, having to work that muscle up to say that it's okay to be human in this space, that it's okay to not be okay in this space. And I really appreciate navigating this with all of you, because you've given us the opportunity. You've helped me move forward for tomorrow. So thank you so much for that. And then so the next thing we want to really talk about is that's strengthening our gifts, right? Strengthening our superpowers. So again, we can't go anywhere. We went to I love Indian food. It's one of my favorite foods to eat. And so Sister Marissa and I went to one of the restaurants down in Kent. And I always order mango curry. Again, I'm going down that same road that we talked about, right? I'm not veering off to any venturous roads I want to go down. I eat there a lot. And so I'm ordering my same mango curry. Sister gets the buffet, so she gets to try all the different things on the menu. And then she comes with this one dish and she's like, you should try this. And I'm like, what is that? And she's going to tell you what it is because I can't remember what it was. And I'm going to tear up the name, but she has a great memory. But it was probably one of the best dishes I've ever eaten because of my trying that. So again, I was going down my favorite road, but she allowed me to taste a new one.
It's called sag paneer. Actually, Matt made one. Just
Matt, yes.
But I
And
realize
so-
this, it's 5:59.
Thank you. So we wanted to just say, trying to go down that road. Thank you, Matt. Matt was amazing, right? Him and his partner makes it. And so we had this wonderful conversation about trying new foods. So again, how are we getting our brains away from those same roads and really just beginning to strengthening other parts so that we find this balance within ourselves. So thank you. We'll go down to the next slide. Thank you, Matt. And Matt is our amazing technical person. Thank you. Yes. So, again, we're going to touch a little bit on, our brains, right? We want to go ahead and have those conversations about, the most essential skills on how we self-regulate, how we're utilizing these tools that we can have in order to continue to build our muscles on what that looks like so that we begin to strengthen those gifts that we have, as Marissa would say, her superpowers, but then utilize them in ways that are helping us in our own social and emotional well-being. Those mindful skills, the videos that we showed earlier, the journaling, the social skills, maybe again, the sports, the yoga, an instrument, music, dancing. I saw all of those wonderful things that you all shared with us during our time. And on the Padlets, in our interactiveness that we could have in a webinar. And so we really appreciate you putting all that down. Sister, do you want to share anything else? Okay, we'll go to the next slide. Thank you. And so the next, you don't have permission. Oh, for that design. Well, we did have permission, but I don't know what happened to it. So we're gonna have to fix that. But we have, you can still click on it. I think it'll take us to the bottom. Yeah, because that was just a photo. Yeah. So this is, again, we'll go to the next. There you go. How can you begin to motivate yourself? Again, your vision boards that we're going to give you. That was just a vision board. These are just templates, if you would. And again, areas that you can go back to see what other people wrote, to see what you wrote. And this is the Jamboard. But really putting your own vision board somewhere that you look at every day, something that can remind you every day, what are those exercises and what are those 30-day challenges that you have for yourself, and then who's your accountability and what does that look like? So even on this Jamboard, again, we're going to just be able to you can put it on here, But we're, you know, what we are asking is that you possibly go and create one for yourself that can be right in front of you every day. Okay. Thank you. Look back and where I've been and remember my growth. It's an amazing thing. I love whoever put that on there. Thank you so much. When you look back at where you've been and you see the growth, right? So I'm going to share a little bit. I'm a competitive paddler. Paddling is my thing, and I'm in Hawaiian outrigger canoeing. I've been paddling my whole life, but I am a competitive paddler. And in my competition, I am always amazed when I see the different stages of my life of where I was when I was paddling. And so that's where my like therapy is when I'm out in a canoe and I'm paddling for miles and miles and miles. But to see the sustainability and the growth that I had in myself as a paddler, I love looking back and seeing that. So appreciation to those who wrote that. Yay, ask your roommate to be your accountability partner. And then just have these are just, again, tools for you to be able to utilize at your own time and need. Thank you. Okay. I think we have one more slide or two more slides and we're pretty much wrapping up. Yep. So this was our intentions and gratitude. Again, just another resource for journaling for you. And I think Sister has another little journal. Do you have it in there for them, sis? Yeah. Yep. I think we clicked on the flower for something. On the flower.
Oh, it's on the intentions and gratitude.
Oh, no, that's okay. Yeah.
So this is for the music while they're doing
It
that,
was
but I
just music that we wanted to just have you, if you wanted to just, to kind of just give your mind and your brain and your body. This has been, you know, a good couple of hours that we've been together, listening to Suilan and Marissa. I feel like I've been listening to myself. But I'm thankful, super thankful for allowing me to heal through my days with you all. And so we really just going to leave the music playing as you begin to be able to journal, write on the Padlets, write on the Jamboard. What are some of the things you're thankful for? What are some of the things you give gratitude for? What are some of the things you want to do moving forward? I'm thankful for all of you today. You really made my day so much better. Even though I can't see any of you, just being able to walk these conversations through has helped me a lot. So much appreciation for that. Okay, there you go. You can make these yours.
so you can choose any template on the left side. And if you click again another page with just the lines, or you can use your notebook, your own notebook. This is just one tool that is available out there, but you can always use your own notebook. And thank you all for committing to doing writing journal, exercising or walking or just going out in the nature and really centering yourself, because when we are whole and we're happy, everyone is. The music that's playing right now is binaural music, and I use it when I study or I read. It helps me calm down my nerves and just focus on what I'm doing. The link to that binaural music is also there in the resource that we're giving, that Leonie and Kenzie will be sending to you after this session.
to thank everybody and just leave you with some really wonderful thoughts. And again, my appreciation for giving me some wellness today. Mahalo nui loa. May you all have a beautiful week. I know I will, just because of having conversations with you. And continue to build those muscles and create healthy bodies and minds and spirits as we continue to share that with everyone that we cross paths with. So thank you so much. We appreciate you all so much. Thank you for taking their time out today.
Thank you, Maurice and Sulan. Do you have a moment to stay for questions?
Yeah.
Okay. There was a question about, everyone watching, please feel free to put questions in the question and answer, and we'll read those out. Do you journal online or on paper?
So I responded, I use Way online for my journaling.
I'm a paper person.
And I also have several notebooks, but I find online being easier, because if I see, I do a little research about what I'm journaling, I can put the link to a YouTube or a website.
But I have to tell you, I found a new tool that I'm just dabbling in called Rocketbook, and I'm kind of liking my Rocketbook because I can still handwrite and then I can wipe it. So I'm a, sustainability and, earth protector. So I don't have papers anymore, even though papers are biodegradable. But I'm able to write on it, take a picture of it, and then load it in a file. So I'm kind of liking this Rocketbook.
So should I just read the question, Mackenzie?
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
You're asking about what's the best app for vision board. It's up to you and your comfort level. Canva is really good. Microsoft PowerPoint to me is the best, because you just drop pictures there, and if it has the design maker or designer, you can easily just group it the way the designer wants to do it. So PowerPoint is what my students are using for vision board, and other things, collage, like identity collage. PowerPoint is easier than Canva. Canva seems to be a little confusing for a beginner, but those who have been using it, they find it really stylish and innovative.
Yeah, and I have I'm back to the old paper and pictures. I love just looking at my vision board in front of me, and I can add things on it and take things down if I need to. So again, my vision boards, I like to touch things. I'm not on that. Sister Marissa has taught me a lot about technology, and I've gotten really good. So, but I'm still not there yet.
So Angela asked, how do I start journaling? There are journal prompts online that you can answer. And there are different prompts. So let's say for social emotional learning, let's say for Black History Month, let's say for Filipino American History Month, there are several prompts. If you wanna, just do journal buddies, you'll find it. And then thank you, everyone should have a yin and yang. So on the Facebook, thank you for those who joined already. I'm gonna post something there, and maybe if you find a partner there to be your yin or your yang, feel free to do that. Oh, are we supposed to go? What time do it? Someone said 6:30.
We have some PESB information, so we will keep talking until 6:30.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, that's right. I was thinking we are until 6.
Well, when you said 6, I was like, oh, I thought it was 6:30, but okay.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
No, but that gives time for Q&A, so I love it.
So Marissa, there's another question, or Sulan, it says, is there a way to download?
Yeah,
the
I put the journal here. I posted it at 6:09. So go ahead and click that link. It says Canva.
Thank you.
Yes, Marissa was really great. Like I remember when we were creating our, presentation, she's like, no, we could just put a journal in there. And I was like, how do you put a journal in there? So again, learning and supporting each other. So she's been wonderful at putting those little journals and prompts inside there.
There's another comment says, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with the oatmeal journal. I saw people adding pages.
Ooh, okay. So you can download a copy for yourself, and then that's gonna be your own. Yeah, if it's shared and everyone is typing it, then it's not your personal journal. You can also do Google Documents, so Google Docs, and then it's something that's there and easy to write on. If you are familiar with Microsoft, we have Sway. I use Sway because it's just beautiful. And I've been using it for 4 years. And I taught my students how to do that. So all my students have, I actually can do a screen share and show examples if that's possible.
Yeah, and then somebody asked if we would go into the vision boards on a later Zoom. No, the vision boards are for you to be able to just take with you. So again, how you create that and download that would be wonderful. Again, it's for you to keep in front of you so that you can have a visual reminder of where you are and what you wanted, what your goals and your strengths are.
And thank you for those of you who joined the Facebook. You are open to post anything to show accountability. If you went for a walk or you did yoga, if you do, if you're doing your yoga and you do your first day, it's an accomplishment. Please post that there.
Thank you, Marissa.
Kendra?
And
Oh, sorry.
go ahead. I think the next couple questions are just kind of logistical ones that we can answer. And we're going to go into some closing information here in just a moment. But before we do, if there's no more questions for Marissa and Sulan, just on behalf of PESB and everyone here, I want to say thank you for the wonderful evening. You've gotten so many wonderful, thankful comments in the Q&A and chat, and lots of love coming at you, as you can see here. So we just want to thank you all both so much. And I'm just always blessed every time I attend your session. So thank you. And we'll look forward to seeing you in your last session, which would be in April, I believe. So thank you. And thank you for creating the Facebook group. That's just, I know that's an extracurricular thing, but that's just so generous of you. So thank you. Okay.
Much appreciation. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. I would say thank you, PSB for thinking about this. I think this is, I would say, just the right move for us because right after the pandemic, we have a lot of educators who need a space like this, and I'm so glad that we thought of creating this space, and we're so thrilled and so excited to be in community with our educators here in Washington. Just like what I said, my superpower is building community. I enjoy this. I love being in a community with our educators and our, just all of you there and here. I would like us to continue collaborating through Facebook. One thing I would say, a good news that I would like to share is I just graduated from my university, American College of Education. And one of the good things that they did is because of my superpower, building community, they actually designated me as their influencer. And so I felt like I can really talk about how to advance, our profession through so many things. And if you want to reach out, let me know. You got my email.
Thank you so much, Marisa. And I think just one last question for you, I might let you all answer. Will the next session be different? I would love to attend if it's a continuation of this work. So I can answer the first part. The next session that is in March is actually by a different facilitator. I don't know if I have, Mackenzie, do you have that title in front of you? But then Marisa and Sulan will be continuing with their session in April. And Marisa and Sulan, did you want to share just a little
Yes, our
note about what
sessions
that
will, yes, thank you, Leonie. Our sessions will always follow this same artwork. I'm going to say HEART, right? And I think it will definitely be a continuation of what we've already been working through of this one as well. And so we will definitely be continuing this way of being with you folks. And so thank you for that. We appreciate the compliment, definitely a compliment and well received, warmly received. So yes, it will be a continuation of this work on our session, which is in April. So we're not the next session, we're the one after that.
And if you, so and what I'm excited about too for this, for our session, our final session in April, is that really sharing what you've done, what changed because of all the sessions that we did and we showed you, or what we talk about. So if you can show or share something, if you have a journal that you would like to share, would like to collect, like, I don't know, a portfolio of all the great things that we are building here.
Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you again both so much. You're welcome to stay on if you would like to, but if not, we're just doing some logistic clock hours questions. Feel free to go and enjoy your evening. And thank you for blessing us with your presence today. So thanks. All right. Thank you. Okay. Well, the next few minutes is just going to be more information about clock hours, the series. And so who have maybe heard this before or gone through this, feel free to go ahead and hop off now if you'd like to, but we will share some information with you, and then Mackenzie and I will be here to answer any questions about clock hours or the series or other logistics. So thank you. So one of the things we wanted to share with you is, as you've seen tonight, this whole series is really about educators and their own social emotional well-being, as Marisa and Sulan shared. And that is so important, and really, it's really the foundation for you being able to teach social emotional learning and help your students. So this is really the first step and an important piece. We also know that some of you have been asking about, strategies for working with your students. And so we did want to let you know that OSPI actually has social emotional tools that are online, and they're designed to build knowledge and awareness for educators of what social emotional learning is and why it's important. The module also explains how to implement and integrate social emotional learning into different contexts in your classrooms and in your schools with your students in a culturally responsive way. So there is a link here, and I believe Mackenzie put it in the chat. Thank you, Mackenzie, for more information on those modules. OSPI does offer free clock hours for those modules, and those modules are self-paced, so you can complete them at your own on your own time schedule. Let's see. Okay. And so also just a reminder that in this series, free clock hours are available. And I'm going to wait till we get back to the slide. Matt, can you share the slides again? There we go. Thank you so much. only because I don't have this memorized. So I need to use the slide to help remember what you all I want to share with you. So if you attend the entire series or watch the series of recordings, you will earn 1 clock hour for the series kickoff session. We have a recording of that. You can earn 2 clock hours for each professional learning session you attend or watch the recording of. You can earn an additional 25 clock hours by completing a professional growth plan. We have shared information with you about that, and we'll have more information to share in a moment. And then at each session, you'll be given a link to register through PD Enroller. And Mackenzie's going to share some more information with you about that.
Thanks, Leonie. Okay, so to get clock hours for tonight's session, sorry. You'll need to enroll for clock hours through the PD Enroller link. I just put that in the chat for you. The claim code is also in the chat if you need it. Sometimes PD Enroller asks for it and sometimes it doesn't. So to get clock hours for today, you'll first need to enroll in the clock hours or at PD Enroller. And then you'll also need to attend the live training, which is you just watched that today with us. One thing to note is that if you are watching with somebody else or on somebody else's Zoom link, please email me with your first and last name and your email address so that I can make sure your attendance is recorded. If you're watching the recording of this session tonight, please watch the recording, submit the clock hour attestation form as well. And all the links that you'll need are located in the SEL series schedule document, which we'll share in just a minute. Actually, we'll share it right now in this next slide. So this slide is the series overview. So tonight was our 5th session that we've had, and you are able to go back and watch recordings of all the previous sessions. So we've recorded every one, and all of those recordings are available on the SEL series schedule that Leonie just put in the chat. So you can go to that document and watch all of those recordings if you'd like. Our next session will be on Tuesday, March 21st, and it is about social awareness. In order to register for the March session and the April session, the registration links for both Zoom and PD Enroller are both in the SEL series schedule document. So to attend future sessions, you'll want to register with the Zoom link provided in the SEL series schedule document. All the links are in that same document. So you'll want to register in Zoom so you can attend the Zoom session. And we recommend that you save that registration confirmation email in order to get into the session easily. Sometimes if you can't find the email, you'll have to re-register. It can get confusing. So save that registration confirmation email from Zoom. To earn clock hours for future sessions, you'll need to register through PD Enroller. And that's the link we put in the chat. And Leonie, yeah, that link is in the chat. In order to get clock hours for past sessions, like I said, you will need to watch the recording, fill out the attestation, and do the PD Enroller link, those 3 things. And all of that is in the SEL series schedule document. If you need additional clock hour assistance, if you have any questions about how clock hours work or what they are or why you need them, we have a lot of that information in our FAQ document. So that is a first place to look for any of those types of questions. And I do want to note, PD Enroller has had some glitches lately. So if you think you should have been awarded clock hours, but you don't have them, let me know and we can see if there's something going on. But also know that it can take a little while for us to verify attendance. So for tonight's session, I would give it a couple of weeks to see if your attendance has been registered in PD Enroller. And if you don't see it by the end of the month, please reach out to me and we can check on that for you. Okay. One other thing, Leonie mentioned that you can earn 25 free clock hours for completing a PGP, a professional growth plan. So if you would like more information about professional growth plans, please visit our website, pesb.wa.gov. You can click on current educators at the top of the page and then go down to professional growth plans, PGPs. And then you'll be able to find lots of information for your specific role about completing a PGP. And I'll hand it back to Leonie.
Thank you, Mackenzie. I did notice in the Q&A, Marissa and Sulan, I know that you are still here. Someone had asked if our presenters present at schools also. I wonder if you would be willing to share your email address, or if you would like them to just contact us, or we can, get that information from you and let the person know. So if you
Yeah,
want to
you
just share
can
with us
go
what
ahead
you'd
and
like us to do.
give them our information. Sister and I can speak with them in regards to some of the work that we do.
Wonderful. Okay.
Yes,
Thank you. Yes.
And thank you for
Okay.
asking.
Thank you. So our next session is coming up in March. It is Tuesday, March 21st from 4 to 6 p.m. And this session is dealing with social awareness, growing empathy across differences, and practicing empathy in community with others. And so the facilitator and presenter is Dr. Bonnie McDaniel. And Bonnie, it's so wonderful because I think what Bonnie, her presentations and Marissa and Sulan's presentations really support each other and kind of interweave with each other. And so it's been really fun to watch as they take two different approaches to social emotional learning and yet come to the same end, right? And so so Bonnie is going to be, you can see the description here. As we develop self-awareness and our capacity to regulate our emotions, we also grow in our ability to respond with. This session, we'll learn about how our brains are wired for empathy, and we'll practice the skill of empathetic listening while maintaining boundaries. We'll learn about common obstacles to empathy, and you'll identify personal strengths and growth areas as an empathetic listener. So we do hope that you're able to join us as well for Dr. McDaniel's session in March. And again, if you have any other questions, feel free to put them on the Q&A. Mackenzie and I will stay on until we have addressed all questions. And again, more questions you can find answers to in our Cell Series FAQ. And on the next slide, you can find Mackenzie's and my contact information. So please feel free to reach out to us with any questions you have as well. We'll be happy to assist you. And as I said, we're going to stay on, but for those of you who are still here, if you've had your questions answered, please go on with your evening. Take some time to take care of yourself this evening, and hope that you have a wonderful day tomorrow as well. And thank you all for joining us. All right, and thank you to Michael and Matt as well.